Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, King of the Dugout, Season 5, November conclusion. I did this morning, and I've done the PDF for the guys to all catch up on how their month was. It wasn't actually a very busy month in respect of the league, to be honest with you. And you'll see that as when we fire it up. But you'll see there was a lot of action generally anyway. Spoiler alert, they're in the second division because that's where it's fired up. That is where we're at then. We're fast approaching the halfway stage. And Jesper leads away by a point of Mark Rutgers, who's 2 points clear of Connor, and Lee Sharples in fourth. It's so neck and neck. It's brilliant. It's great that there's not like a runaway leader. And there's so much to play for because the bottom line is, right, inevitably, 3 of these guys are going to get promoted. One of them is going to have the heartbreak of losing in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? It's really bizarre in that sense that, you know, there's going to be heartbreak for somebody, maybe, of not making promotion, and then heartbreak maybe for the same person of not winning the playoffs. It's going to be cruel, but it's a cruel game. It's a cruel game. Let me just go to that so we don't do no other spoilers. So let's start then with Jesper. Jesper, he's a man that's involved in fucking everything, and you'll see that. Here we go. He concluded his UEFA Cup second round match. Was it second round match? Yes, and he won it very, very convincingly when he took out Mallorca. He drew the first leg 1-1, of course, and very, very convincing. And it was a shaky start. Fair to say, shaky start. And look who scored against him again. But he advances to the third round where he has already got the lead in the first leg against Galatasaray. Very, very convincing. And he's made himself £1.6 million over those 2 wins alone during November. So a big well done. But he is human. And you can see that already. Advancing in the League Cup to the 4th round at the expense of Coventry. He didn't make it to the quarter-finals because he was then eliminated to Blackburn Rovers. Based on them stats, I think he'll feel that maybe, it's a harsh result, but he didn't deserve to win, didn't deserve to lose. A draw would be a fair result. So he'll be gutted. And he was the holder of the League Cup. He won it, sensationally won it last year, but there'll be no repeat of that. Blackburn 2, AC Runmansion 0, and bizarre. It's bizarre circumstances. You'll have also seen he has been involved in the FA Cup where he took on Woolwich. A 3-1 victory over the non-league team. Deserved victory indeed. Of course, interestingly, the money he made for that was only 100 grand because as per PDF, if you beat somebody in the FA Cup that's below you in division, it's only 100 grand. So whilst it's good for him in that sense, like weaker opposition, he don't make as much money, but he'll prefer that because he's making a fucking shitload in the UEFA Cup anyway. So, So, a big well done to Jesper indeed. Over to, we'll go to second place then, Mr. Mark Rutgers, who secured a fine month, but he did it the hard way. You can see it right there because he drew with Swindon in the FA Cup. And of course he won the replay. Now the ironic thing about how he did this is he made the money of a draw in the FA Cup and then he made the money of a win. So it came at, the extra game came at a cost. He could have lost that game and he'd have been really pissed off. But from his perspective, he got the draw, he gets a little bit of extra money and it all helps. And secured 3 league victories. I think every one of our King of the Dugout managers only had 3 league games this month, sorry. So a big well done, and you can already see there, little spoiler alert there, you can see who he's got in the second round of the FA Cup. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's go to Mr. Lee Sharples next. Lee Sharples, for me, continues to defy the odds. I can't really stress it. Even with this summer transfers, I didn't feel that he was as strong as some of the others. That being said, he did make some great signings. I think he shut a lot of critics up, Lee, including myself, because he sold a lot of players, and and then he had that one amazing window of transfers where he landed, I think, 10 out of 10. And he's got some absolute fucking beauties. A very, very convincing victory in the FA Cup. And another spoiler alert there, because you can see a second round tie. You can also see that the Vans Trophy South has been announced, and we'll come to that afterwards. But there was a good recovery in the league after the 1-0 defeat against Orange is the New Black at the end of October. He bounced back. Not just bounced back, but look at that. 4-0, 3-1 and 4-1 in the league. Superb. Absolutely superb. And finally in Division 2 we go to Connor. Connor I saved because Connor is our last man standing in the League Cup after a 3-0 victory over Tottenham. What an absolute fantastic performance. And that makes it even more fantastic because Tottenham, you know, I mean, it's a very, very flattering scoreline, I think, to win 3-0. And I feel that something I'll show you in a moment, it's being acknowledged what a great result this is turning out to be for Connor. Connor was one of my tips to win the title. He still is my tip to win the title, truth be told. And I love seeing Onosimo score goals. I fucking love it. But what a result. And, you know, in terms of the FA Cup, he's scraped through. And I do stress he scraped it through. But he's through to the second round. You can see there's another spoiler alert there. There's a big clash in the Vans Trophy. More about that in a moment. But in terms of the league, I mean, he hammered Brentford 6-0. Bristol City 2-1. Bury, I actually missed that on my update, to be honest with you. I didn't realise he'd actually scored 12 goals. So, apologies there. But what an absolute stunning week it's been. Gomez, what a fucking phenomenal from him. And this brings me to my next thing, right? Firstly, look at that, right? 41 goal involvements in 24 games. And I said this before, and I'll say it again because it'll be even worse. If he gets picked for the CPU bid, can you imagine how much the offer's going to be? Just to acknowledge really just what a good month Connor had. He got the Young Player of the Month in John Ataka. He got the Player of the Month in Ronald Gomez, which doesn't surprise me at all. And he did a clean sweep because he got the Manager of the Month as well. So a big, big well done indeed to him. Over to the third division, and that's where we're at then. Chicken Curry lead the way by 6 points. Massive to have a gap like that at this stage. When you look at the last division and how close it is, Trevor Choice Chicken Curry are loving it. 6 clear of Almo St Helens Town. Murder on Zidane's Floor, they are my tip to win the title. And you know what? You know, I'm optimistic. I still think they will. I feel that this could be controversial. I feel Chicken Curry will go through a bad phase. I really do. But I think Stuart Danton's Murder on Zidane's Floor will come good. Sunday Strikers, a much better month from them. Blasphemians, for me, they're everyone's favourite to do the worst out of our 6 King of the Dugout managers in this division. Now, Omish Royal FC, Paul Winchester, what an absolute awful month for him. He started the season so well, and we will start with him because his month consisted of 2 draws and a defeat, and it was against a rival. Comfortable victory in the FA Cup. Which is some consolation. The defeat against Stuart Danton's Murder on Zidane's Floor is a tough one to take. It really is. Very entertaining game, to be fair. But what can you say? What can you say? Nathan Lenton's a great player. I didn't actually realise he had him. I didn't realise that was that. Is it the Wigan player? Was he Wigan? Am I thinking the right thing? Who am I thinking? But you've got a feel for him. But he's through in the FA Cup. And as you can see, spoiler alert there, for the Vans Trophy, he will take on a fellow human manager, the same manager that we've just showed you his league result against. He'll take on Murder on Zidane's Floor. So, over to, next up is Blasphemians. Now, Adu, right, I feel for Adu, and I'll tell you why. Because the FA Cup, he got through Rochdale, and look who he's got in the second round. The Vans Trophy first round's draw's been made. Look who he's got. How fucking unfortunate is he? Do you know what I mean? To get the clash of the rounds. But we'll have a look at them properly in a moment. In terms of his league, 7 points from 9. He'll be a bit disappointed with a 3-3 draw at Mansfield, considering they were the stats. But nevertheless, he's looking good. He's looking very, very good. And I think he'll be... I mean, you can see the gap there for playoffs, where you see Bournemouth in 8th. They're on 29 to Rushden on 37. And again, you know, like the other division, we're going to see three of our guys inevitably get promoted here, and only one of them go up through the playoffs, potentially. So 2 of these 6 guys here are going to be in this division again. That's going to happen. That's definite. Over to Sunday Strikers now. Big Philippe Dirala. Now, Philippe has had a very, very good start to the season. The last month, he had an atrocious month. It was awful. But he bounced back with 7 points from 9. He advances in the FA Cup. The goalless draw at Colchester. He'll be a little bit disappointed, look at them stats, particularly because they had a man sent off in the 6 minutes. So I think he'll be a little bit pissed off. But I think generally he'll be pleased that he got the recovery, you know, and he's right back in it. He's right back in it. He's 1 point off promotion. And, you know, going back to the other guys, they're only a point or so off the promotion. Over to Murder on the Dance Floor, Stuart Danton. The 1-1 draw with Shrewsbury he'll be really pissed off about, because generally 7 from 9 for him, which included, of course, that big victory over Wayne Chester's Omist Rolling in FC. But the 1-1 draw with Shrewsbury, he'll be gutted. A home game, and I think I say gutted, he'll probably be relieved to have got the point. But I think the problem is he knows how important those 2 points could have been, because they would have essentially taken him into second place. But you know what? It is what it is. But of course, because Wayne Chester's Omist Rolling has had such a shit month, everyone's leapfrogged him basically. Over to Almo St Helens Town, who find themselves second place, 42 points, but they did suffer a defeat, and he knows how frustrated he'll be with that defeat at Rochdale. Probably deserved a draw maybe from that, minimum. But, a victory over Brighton, a very good result over Brighton in the Cup. Victory over Barnet and Bournemouth. Let me just close something down a minute, guys. I've just thought of something else that I'm going to go through with you whilst I'm actually here. And I can fire it up for you guys. And it's going to be the finances. I'll be able to guide you on the finances as we go along. So, and that leaves us now then with Trevor Choi's Chicken Curry. Now, of course, the 6-point gap is because of Almo's defeat. That's the bottom line. Because Chicken Curry secured 3 league wins out of 3. They did very, very well indeed. And of course, the way they ended October was elimination at the League Cup was a bit harsh. But he's bounced back absolutely brilliantly. And as you can see, he's part of big clashes in the forthcoming competitions. The Vans Trophy looks like this. Omist Rolling and FC against Murder on the Dance Floor. St Helens against Chicken Curry. Blasphemians go to Football Heritage. I think I made a mistake there. I think I only mentioned there was 2 main clashes on the update. But as you can see, there is actually 3. Now, you'll also notice, like last season, we have 2 teams not involved. Sunday Strikers are not involved. And neither is Orange is the New Black. Now, this happened last season. I don't even know if it was the same 2 teams. I'd have to check. But, funnily enough, I agreed to give them $100,000 to compensate them because everybody else gets an opportunity to win money. Then they entered in the second round. Whoever it was 2 teams. That's the same for this one here. Both Sunday Strikers and Orange is the New Black will both enter at the second round. It could be that they're high seeded on the competition. That depends who I replace them with in the editor. So that would be my own fault. So, it's no here or there. So that's that. So big clashes. That's, of course, is happening this coming month. So if you are Connor Marchbank, you have got one fucking hell of a month ahead over the next 2 months, shall I say. I mean, you look at... No, sorry, I was right the first time. December, you got the League Cup quarter-final at home to Blackburn, the conquerors of Run Mansion, of course. The FA Cup, the Vans. Then, of course, how many league games has he got scheduled in here? He's got fucking loads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 league... No, sorry. Fucking twat. 5 league games. He's got 8 games total. It's a big month for Connor. It really is. Which brings us now then to the FA Cup. The second round draw is made. Football Heritage take on Torquay. Run Mansion go to Peterborough United. Blasphemians against Orange is the New Black. Sunday Strikers against Hereford. Omish Rolling in FC take on Plymouth. Murder on Xanathor go to Swansea. St Helens go to Clevedon. And Chicken Curry take on Fritzl. Predictions. Well, I fancy Football Heritage to advance. I fancy Run Mansion to advance. Blasphemians against Orange is the New Black. I fancy the away team there to take that. If Blasphemians can get a draw, I think they'll be happy. I think if they get a draw, then Mark Rutgers will be happy because it'll make more money. Now, of course, going back to Connor a minute on Football Heritage, if they draw, of course, they'll have a replay. So potentially his games could be rescheduled around. Sunday Strikers against Hereford, for me, home banker. Omish Rolling in FC against Plymouth, home banker. Swansea, Murder on the Dance Floor, Stewart should do that. Clevedon against St Helens will do that. Chicken Curry against Fritzl Palace. That is a tie of the round. That is a tie of the whole fucking month ahead. Because that is Trevor Choi against Lee Sharples. I'll be intrigued to know who Stuart Danton is cheering on in that game. Who do I think will win? Do I dare say it? I'm going to go Trevor Choi, Chicken Curry are going to take it with home advantage. If Lee's Fritzl can get a draw, they'll win the replay at home. So you heard it here first. And finally, something I did forget to say, but we'll go through it. The manager of the month for Division 3 was Conor Marchbank. No, Division 3. What am I talking about? What are you talking about? Let's just get to Division 3, sorry. The manager of the month went to... Player of the month went to Andre Sigpolson of Chicken Curry. The young player of the month went to AI. No one gives a fuck about AI. And the manager of the month went to Stuart Danton of Murder on Zidane's Floor. I like this, like seeing that. It's gone to 4 different managers, which is always good to see. I don't know if anyone expected Adam to get one, but it's good to see him there anyway. Okay, so what we'll do now, let's just leave you on the... Let's leave you on the on the table for a minute as we now flick through some money. Let me remind you, right, that the guys are making a shitload of money. Well, Jesper's making a shitload of money. Let me remind you that your league wins, your wages go up by £100 for every league win, including last season's, because we've got a Cume League wins table. They go up by £100, and then after 5,000, it goes up in increments of £250. St Helens, Almo, just over £3.4 million in the bank, showcasing the biggest capacity in the division, which is currently capped, by the way, at 30,000. I think we said 30,000 in Division 3, 40,000 in Division 2, 60,000 in Division 1, 80 in the Premier. Wages is currently £5,250 per week. Now, the wages don't affect him at this very moment. It's really at the end of the season. It's all about league wins. 9 league wins this season, and his Q League wins is 41. Fritzl Palace, Lee Sharples, just over £1.8 million with a 5k capacity. That's why he's not making as great a money. That being said, 15 league wins this season, totaling 46 league wins for a wages now standing at £6,500 per week. If he was to lose every single game between now and the end of the season in the league, that's what his wages will be for next season. Chicken Curry, £3.1 million, £22,000 capacity. Wages currently sit at £5,000 per week. 15 league wins this season, totaling 40 league wins. So next league win, it will be £5,250 and so on and so on. Sunday Strikers, just under £4 million, a 20,000 stadium, £4,500 per week wages, 12 league wins so far this season, totaling 35. Murder on the Dance Floor, also 12 league wins this season, totaling 37 Cume wins. 4,700 for wages, 10,000 stadium, and Murder on the Dance Floor is currently holding just over £2.7 million. Orange is the New Black, 2.6 million, 14,000 stadium, £6,250 per week, 16 league wins this season, totaling 45. AC Run Mansion, Jesper Rodman, also 16 league wins this season, totaling 53. Totaling wages, as it stands, £8,250 per week. 23,000 seater stadium, £8.4 million in the bank. He has. Now, quick thing. I did have a conversation with Mark Whitaker this morning. Just to confirm, in case anyone's questioning it, I did think it myself. Then I went back on my word. The wage cap won't be capped. Mark did a calculation, so it won't be capped. So even if Jesper continues to win games and win games and win games, yes, he'll have a big wage. But he would more than likely be in the second tier of football. So that's that. Football Heritage, K.O.T.D is holding just under £2 million. Very small stadium of 7,000. 15 league wins, 51 total. Wages 7,750. Omish Rolling FC, Wayne Chester, who has the biggest squad of everybody, 50 players and 5 non-EUs, holding just over 870 grand, has the smallest stadium out of everybody, 3,000, 11 league wins, 23 Cume wins, and a mingy wage bill of 3,300, or wage budget, shall I say. And finally, Blasmians, Adu. Now, of course, Adu is a little bit behind because he only joined us this season. He's had 12 league wins this season, which means his Cume wins is 12, which means his wages per week, of course, it started at 1,000, is now 2,200. He does have a slightly bigger stadium than Wayne, 4,000, and he currently holds £820,000. Wow. So it's going to be a big month ahead of us, I think it's fair to say. You know what, as I said, I still tip Connor over here. I do tip Connor, but it's hard to anticipate. It really is. It is very hard to anticipate where it's going to go. Something else that's going to be very hard to anticipate is the UEFA Cup. You know, I will just point out, I have got a maximum database, although it's only England, maximum database for the benefit of European teams, and I did that because of this very reason. I didn't do that on King of the Dugout version 1, and it makes all the difference, but credit where it is due to the champ, and I'm going to keep calling him the champ until I state otherwise, because he is the champ, he is a number 1 seed, but there you can see, if he gets through Galatasaray, which I expect him to now, he could land. There's a lot of big teams in that potential next round draw. Liverpool, Barcelona, Rangers, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Leeds United. You know, it's a big one. It's a real big one. Who knows? You know, in terms of the League Cup, it'll be interesting for Connor. Blackburn, you know, they took out Runmansion. I think he's at home, and I think that's important. He's at home, very important. If he can get through Blackburn and maybe hope to get Leicester or Fulham in the semis, then who knows? But look, QPR are still there, second division as well. Finally, the FA Cup. You know, Blasphemians against Orange is the New Black. I think, did I say that, didn't I? I think he'll take the draw, won't he? Yeah, sorry, I did say that, didn't I? So with the Vans, if there's any draws on the Vans, I think it will go to extra time penalties immediately, I think. So that's it from me, guys, and the King of the Dugout. And until next time, it's take it easy.